You have the challenge. Is there
Yeah.
ever something, bro? You doing that fucking pause?
That was weird.
Oh my!
That pause was like weird. Like, wait, what?
It was for dramatic. It was for dramatic effect.
That was hella
But I was
dramatic.
asking. I was asking the audience.
Mm.
You have a challenge, or have you ever had a challenge? I was trying to do the narrative topic, but clearly, Darn is
That
hating. He didn't let it
I
happen.
did not see that one coming.
Sure.
Darwin, what are you doing here?
It's challenge day.
Yo, we back, y'all. This is season 4, episode 9 of Challenge Day. What's going on? We're
Salute.
glad that you guys are able to tune in. We're ready to get to the show, man. We're ready to pod for y'all. With that being said, we're gonna jump right into it. First of all, like, comment, subscribe. A little bit of
Hmm.
housekeeping. Like, comment,
That
subscribe.
part.
It's definitely important. We talk back, y'all. So just let us know your thoughts about whatever we talk about. Again, like, comment, subscribe. We talk back. We definitely talk back. So
See you
check
in the
us out, man.
comments.
Check us out. Check us out. We've been doing this for a minute. So we're excited to see what feedback we get from the things that we discussed. So check us out. So let's move forward. Again, I am Jeff, not Jeffrey. That's my bro, Darn Darko. We're ready to get to it. And with that being said,
Challenge day.
mass count, bro. You got the mass count for me?
Oh, this is a weird one today.
Yeah, a little
So
bit.
we are
A little bit.
recording on July 14th, and I think we mentioned last time that we probably should name say the date a couple here and there because of things may have changed by the time you're hearing this.
I've also been putting on our thumbnail the actual date of the recording. So if you
Yep.
guys
So
pay attention,
that should help too.
it should help to let you know when it's been recorded. So
So
yeah.
this is kind of important though, why I'm saying that. So we're at the mass shooting, the count is 295.
295.
And 295. So we've had several mass shootings in the past few days. There was 3 on the 12th,
Mm-hmm.
2 on the 13th, and 1 happened today in Chicago. Now, dang, hold on. This one in Alabama, 9 injured, 4 killed.
No surprise there.
I didn't even hear about this.
Mm, mm.
And the
Wasn't important enough,
suspect
I
was
guess.
not killed or arrested in Birmingham, Alabama. Now, if you
Mm-hmm.
haven't heard about that one that happened yesterday on the 13th, you will not be blamed and you will not be faulted because there was a slightly bigger mass shooting that happened.
A little bit bigger.
Bro, they done try to shoot Trump in Pennsylvania.
They try to get that boy up out of there. And they
These
did.
fools actually went for the assassination attempt and missed.
Straight up miss, bro.
You
That's crazy.
best not miss if you come for the king. You know how that go. What are you
Mm-hmm.
doing?
Yeah.
That was the worst thing. So look, that was the worst thing that could, like, that was not on my bingo card.
Mm,
That was not on my bingo card.
mm.
And this is right ahead of the freaking the RNC, Republican National Convention, that's
Yeah.
happening in Milwaukee,
Mm-hmm.
which is happening on Monday, and this joint happened on Saturday. So Trump is seen, he's talking to the crowd, he's making a point about something, he's one goes from one teleprompter, I think, to the other teleprompter,
I really see something that
and
said,
is
take a look at
happens
what
to turn his
happened.
head. And at that point is when a sniper dude was like, I think they're saying something like maybe like 100 yards away, like
Yeah.
not even that far, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
On a roof, and he fired as many as 8 rounds from an AR style rifle with when he was perched on this rooftop adjacent to the venue,
Mm-hmm.
and he Trump in the ear, hit Trump in the ear, and so he let off about 8 rounds, and like a person died. a person died. So like one of the round, I don't know exactly who he was intending for. You like, I don't know.
Yeah,
We don't know his
it's
motives.
yeah, it's strange. Like
We don't
what
know
he
his
was even
motive because it's like, is it a mass
firing at.
shooting or was it like was an assassination attempt?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Or also was it political violence? Like
that's one of the things that's one of the
like
phrases
is
that's
it?
been
But
thrown
it's
around.
all a question because it's like
Mhm.
does maybe he's like your regular degular American mass shooter. Look, we had one in Alabama
Yeah.
and he just picked this big event
Hmm.
potentially, or it
Mm.
it could be some joint where it's an assassination attempt because he like wants to make a name for himself. He wants to go down in history books or something like that. And
That's
this is a big
possible.
event to do it. Or it could specifically be he is anti-Trump, and that is a political
That would be politically expedient for sure.
we don't know if it's politically motivated or how the FBI is going to investigate it. Um, but either way, this was the worst thing that could have happened. We want to beat these people, like, and if it's politically motivated, as much as I think that Trump is bad for democracy, and as much as I have like a lack of faith in Biden's potential to make it to the election just with his health and wellness and whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, with all that said, like we want to beat these people with ideas because we
Yeah.
have better ideas on this normal side of democracy, a
Hmm.
well-functioning democracy.
Hmm.
What they doing over there is really trying to turn this into a back to a monarchy. They don't. I don't know if they don't see it or if they're doing it intentionally because like I've heard the interviews of people saying like, yeah, if I could have I'd rather have a dictator Trump than a President Biden, is what they're saying. Like I never thought I would wish for a dictator, but I would take a dictator Trump, is what they're saying. So like,
That's absurd.
it's going to be like a Putin type situation, which can evolve
Mm-hmm.
to a freaking monarchy. The,
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing, the whole idea about America is getting away from this monarchy. But we have to make the case at the ballot box, and we have to make the case um, in political ads. You make the case on podcasts, on interviews,
Mm-hmm.
in your campaign. You make the case, and that's how the case is being made. And the rest of us are making the case. And this one freaking dummy, when he ran out of ideas and he couldn't make the case, so he figured he goes to a gun. That's the future we don't want. We're like, that's
Mm-hmm.
like being in that. That's what's going to happen all the time. You see all the elections in Mexico, how many people died?
A lot of people died. Yeah, a lot of people died.
In Mexico, running for office,
Mm.
just like that's that could be us. We're like, okay, if you run for president if you want to.
Mm.
Like one of the leaders of the pro-Trump Project 2025 suggests there will be a new American revolution. His name is Kevin Roberts. He said that the revolution will be bloodless if the left allows it to be. He said this like weeks ago. He said the revolution is happening and it could be a bloodless revolution. We could have a peaceful transition to this revolution, to this new
Mm-hmm.
America, well,
Mm-hmm.
however they envision it. Although they don't realize it looks like a theocracy to me. That's why we don't want that revolution. And in a theocracy where the central person is Trump, not God, not the
Yeah.
Bible, not the God of the Bible that y'all know,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, but if this was politically motivated, they can stand on their 10 toes and 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 be affirmed that, oh, y'all shot the first shots though. The
Mm.
left did it. He said,
They
if
could
the
they
left
could argue
allows
that.
it to be.
They
And
could
two
argue
weeks
that.
later, oh, looks like the left ain't gonna allow it to be. But we're at
Mm.
295 in mass shootings, and one of those mass shootings may have been the mass shooting that is the fork in the road between the new America and saving the remnants of whatever the fuck we have now that allows for people like this to even be walking around like eligible to like pick up a weapon
Mm-hmm.
and cause this kind of chaos. This is like 9/11 type stuff right here.
Mm.
I'm tired of living in historic times. Like
Me?
9/11.
Okay.
No, dog. I want to live in boring times. If you get a fortune cookie, if you get a fortune cookie, dog,
Yeah.
that say you will live in interesting times. It's like,
Mm.
God, pack it up.
Mm-hmm.
Pack it up. It's way too many stuff. Like Jeff, how many things like could you think right now that like since we've been alive that like when you read history books and
Mm-hmm.
like they only give you the highlights of what went on in history.
Yeah.
How many highlights in our lifetime? Like, and this is just 30, 40 years, right?
Mm.
Versus all of American existence. Freaking
Uh,
160, 100, 200 years.
I mean, it's been quite a bit. I mean, obviously 9/11, the 20-year war, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
School shootings.
Yeah.
I mean, it's COVID. I mean, it's
Reagan.
Reagan. Yeah. I
He
mean,
got
it's
he got he got shot to freaking the
yeah.
first black president.
First, yeah, oh yeah, first black president. Yeah, first black African American woman vice
VP.
VP. I mean, yeah, it's been quite a
The the
first
the
first black
overturning of the
first black.
overturning of Roe v.
Oh yeah,
Wade.
over
The
yeah.
freaking the
First
ending
black
of affirmative action.
that first black African American woman president. That's a president that became the president of Harvard. First
Yeah.
black, like it's been a lot of firsts.
Harvard.
Like it's a lot of firsts.
It's a
Like
lot of like
and she Haitian,
historical stuff.
and she
Yeah.
Haitian. Like so like it's a lot of stuff that has
The
happened. That's like wow.
pandemic. You didn't even in the
I did,
pandemic.
yeah. I said COVID. That's why I
You
said
said
COVID.
COVID?
Really,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I
Bruh, like
mean,
this is like when
it's been
people
a
wrote stories about polio and shit
lot
like
of
that. We have
things. Yeah,
COVID.
hmm yeah, yeah.
And
It's a
this
lot.
is potentially the when we read about the Civil War, this is like we're gonna be in those stories.
Mm,
We could potentially be that first generation
hmm
that like before they're gonna change the name of the country. It's not gonna be it's not gonna be United States of America no more. They're gonna change the name. This is crazy. We're living
That's a
in
bold
historic
prediction.
times. Huh?
That's a bold prediction to make.
I mean, it could be a 30, 40 year span. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? But
To
that's
name it
how it went
to
back.
name a country something completely different.
Yeah.
Has any other countries
Yeah, yeah.
has any
Like
other
look,
country?
when you think about the Soviet Union breaking apart, all these countries that are named over there are like new names.
Yeah, that's new name. Yeah,
Those are like
there's
new
a slide
names.
into Russia. Okay, yeah,
Belarus is
Belarus.
Belarusian, and then it was
Yeah.
called something else. You know what I mean? The People's
Mm-hmm.
Republic of China was called something else.
Mm-hmm.
Like in our lifetime, I think.
Mm. Yeah,
Freaking
that's a fair point. Yeah, actually, think about it like that. Mm-hmm.
freaking I think Barbados just got their independence.
Yeah,
Dog, bro.
that's
Yeah.
wild, bro. Like, yeah, they
Like,
just recently. Yeah.
uh, the Supreme Court a few weeks ago. So there's a much anticipated case that was with the Supreme Court, and they came down with the wise decision of the Supreme Court that ex-presidents have immunity from prosecution for anything that is deemed an official act. This was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Um,
That boy Trump, man.
this was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Finesse God, bro.
They have to now.
Bro, his reach knows
They
no bounds, bro.
they have to freaking the judge now has to kind of review the entire case, and they had to postpone the sentencing because she has to review what can we parse out, and is it significant enough that we can parse out that something was an official act versus an unofficial act.
Mm-hmm.
And once I figure that out, does that change the verdict? Would he need a new trial, or does that change because that wasn't the law before? He was prosecuted by the old law.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is retroactive, but or maybe it might be the same because that case wasn't finalized yet or something like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the appeal, but like
Ex-presidents are in
The
what?
sentencing itself might change because of like you figure out what's official, what's not official,
Yeah, yeah.
or they could just dismiss the whole
Because the
case.
precedent is going to be different for each, depending on what.
Yeah.
you
Or they could just
prosecute.
dismiss the whole case, man. The court's conservative majority held on July 1st that presidents are completely immune from prosecution for things they did through core constitutional powers of the presidency. They specified those core powers include presidential pardons and communications with the attorney general, but didn't list everything that's included. So some of the rest, we're just gonna have to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it leaves open that the same scenario that legal experts have been breathlessly talking about,
Mm-hmm.
how many they were saying the outlandish legal theories of immunity for even assassination, assassinating a rival, and other autocratic behavior. Because you can say, hey, I think that person was a threat to democracy, so I'm protecting the democracy as an official act. SEAL Team 6, get him. And he's also immune, so you can't go back and be like, oh, you assassinated your opponent. Hey, but I'm immune. It was official. How's that not monarchy?
Bro, that is
How's that not a setup for a monarchy? Like we could see it.
that is
We could see it coming, dog. And in
I am flabbergasted. That is, I don't even know what to say.
this is the potential threat, right? And so pivoting real quick to I'm painting a picture here. Ride with me.
That's clear.
In a survey of 1,500 registered voters, 80% said Biden was too old to run for a second term. And that's including 76% of Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
This is who
can't tell
is
Democrats
holding
not to
down the fort of democracy.
Yeah, you can't tell even Dems. You can't tell them not to trust what they see, what they saw with their own eyes.
I saw with my own eyes,
You can't tell them not to
though.
trust what they saw with their own eyes. Like we see
Biden,
it. We all see it.
After that crazy debate, Biden went on to he went to did the rounds, this interviews, trying to get out there.
Of course, he's trying to get ahead of it.
But he still wasn't. If you're so far behind and you have that you fell so hard on your face or that debate, you gotta knock it out the park. Next thing you do, right?
Mm.
Bro, this dude went on did an interview with George Stephanopoulos, and he was like, it was mid.
Mm.
Like, it was mid. Bro, this was your comeback tour? Wait a minute. Your comeback tour, bro. Come on. You know what I mean? And so it was mid. He did some interviews at some black stations, some black radio stations, right? Some smaller markets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out, we found out later that his team sent the questions in advance to the radio station.
Were those questions given to you by the White House, or the campaign, or did you have to submit questions ahead of this interview?
The questions were sent to me for approval. I approved them.
Okay, so the White House sent the questions to you ahead of the interview?
Yes.
Okay.
I got several questions, 8 of them, and the 4 that were chosen were the ones that I approved.
Okay. And the reason I ask is not a criticism of either of you. It's just that if the White House is trying now to prove the vim, vigor, acuity of the president, I don't know how they do that by sending questions first before the interview so that the president knows what's coming.
Son, this your comeback tour to show us that you with it, that you on top of your game, and your campaign had to do that? And then it comes out in one of those stations where they came back and they asked them to edit some of the stuff out.
Okay.
God, this your comeback tour and you slipping like this? Remember all that stuff I read earlier about what the potential of Trump is going to be?
Yeah.
At So if you there's we'll add a link in the show notes for where you can go to the radio station's website. They they got caught up on all this, and so they had to they had to create a whole site. They
Mhm.
created a site to talk about it and to apologize about it and all that kind of stuff. Um, at one point it says at the time mark. So here's the two ones that were deleted at the
Mhm.
time mark, 5 minutes and 20 seconds. The removal of quote, and in addition to that, I have more blacks in my administration than any other president. All other presidents combined and in major positions, cabinet positions. They're like they had to remove that. That's just like factually inaccurate. Like all of that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All that was just factually inaccurate. But he
Mhm.
had said it, and they removed it when they broadcasted it at the time 15 in reference to Donald Trump's call for the death penalty for the Central Park Five, the removal of so this is what they removed. He goes, I don't know if they even call for their hanging or not, but but they said convicted of murder.
What?
That's
I'm
right.
I'm so lost right now.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. Exactly.
I'm very
That's the guy
confused.
who's saving democracy. That guy,
Wow.
bro, I don't even know if he knows what he said. Oh my
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
God.
Well
What
played.
are you talking about? Oh my gosh. So several
Yeah.
more lawmakers joined a group already. I'm freaking crying over here. So several more lawmakers joined a group on Friday that's calling for Biden to step down. We're talking about
Mhm.
folks in Congress now.
Mhm.
They're making it. There's at least 19 Democratic members of Congress that are calling for, and like I think one senator, and like so that's like 18 House members. Bruh, bruh, this is our first line of defense. And you know what? You
Gotta
know what?
hang
I'm
it
gonna say
up.
this. I'm gonna say this. I know I was advocating hard for Kamala, but
Mhm.
nonsense, nonsense. Fall back. Because what's going to happen is he's going to drop out or something like that, and then it's going to fall on her, the inevitable loss. Because Trump just won this election. You saw that photo with his fist. He's got his fist in the air with the American flag in the background with blood
I,
on his face.
I said it. I said it earlier. I was like, bro, this is gonna boost his ratings like
Bro, that
crazy,
boy
bro.
just got reelected. That picture is going to do
Yeah.
the rounds. And you thought there was
That
an
joint
occult before. You
that
thought
joint mad.
they had dog, he literally went down and then they picked him up and he came back up with the fist. He's like risen. I, he's like risen.
Let's not do that.
Jeff, put your help,
No.
Jeff, in their shoes. In their shoes. Is that not risen to them?
In their shoes is more of like
They already think
I'm the I am the well, how would I say untouchable? I'm like I'm bulletproof.
he's a godlike figure to
Yes,
them.
is
He's
yes.
a godlike figure to
But
them.
with that to them, yeah, it's more of like, oh, this guy can't be. We can't get rid of this guy.
I
This
feel
guy
like
is
it's almost like
yeah,
even if Joe Biden or the Democrats win the election, I like I don't.
January 6th part two.
Yeah, like it's gonna be for
Mm,
real this time. That was warm ups.
mm.
So like you're damned if you do. If he wins, if the Democrats win, I think things are really gonna pop off. If the Democrats lose
Mm-hmm.
and Project 2025 goes in full effect, the whole thing about it will be a bloodless joint if the left allows it. Forget about that.
That is
Because there's
very
already
cryptic to
blood.
say something like that. That's kind of yeah, to say something like that. Like I'm looking at you like, what type of time you on, bro? Like
He
I
was
that's yeah, that would
bro.
raise some immediate
That means
flags
like,
for
dude,
sure.
I can't wait for that dude is like can't wait for
Looking for an
concentration
opportunity.
camps.
Yeah, look.
He's just looking
Yeah,
for a reason. He
yeah,
can't wait for like the mass deportations.
yeah.
We're talking about the Trail of Tears. Boy, it's gonna be this trail
Mm.
of blood. That's what the history books are gonna write about it, and that's why I'm tired of living in interesting times.
So some international news. Just wanted to give you guys like a quick little update of what's been going on in Haiti. It's more of just kind of like operationally what's been going on there. There's 400 Kenyan soldiers that or like soldiers, officers, whatever you want to call them. They've been deployed there. They've been there for a bit of time now. A lot of what they've been doing is kind of working in tandem with the Haitian police, and other security forces that are on their way apparently. Um, and because apparently there's supposed to be about I think 2,500, like a 2,500 member force that should be showing up in Haiti. And what they've just been doing is like pretty much patrolling more of like a lot of symbolic places, like the where the president's house was. Um, Obviously the U.S. Embassy, the United States is actually funding a lot of this. I actually just recently saw how much the U.S. actually committed to provide as far as
Yeah.
like funding and
No,
all that stuff.
I saw a C-130 parked up in Port-au-Prince Airport. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
yeah,
dropping off supplies and whatnot. I
a
wonder what kind
lot
of
of
supplies.
supplies. Yeah, the U.S. actually pledged 300 million to provide. And whatever that whatever comes in that, right? Whether that's the supplies for the country, obviously, or medical supplies, anything that the country needs, obviously, right? So, um, but apparently, it's only been I think only the only thing that's been raised has been like 21 million. Um, at least that's what Kenyan officials say. So I guess the money is coming. We'll we'll see how it goes.
Mm.
But apparently, yeah. But apparently, the U.S. has a huge footprint as far as like providing whatever resources that they probably need, at least a significant portion of it. Um, Other countries that are supposed to be involved in this 2,500 member force, Bahamas, obviously Kenya, but Bahamas, Bangladesh, Barbados, Belize, Benin, Chad, and Jamaica. So quite a few countries. And Darwin mentioned this actually last time we did a pod. The last time we talked about this specific topic when we did a pod, um, that the representation was actually pretty important. They wanted to show that obviously an African country is leading this effort. So
Yeah,
that's
that's why I could
definitely
see
key.
how like the U.S. is like, yeah, they're sending a plane to drop
Yeah,
off some supply, but they ain't gonna put no
but
boots
they're
on the
not
ground.
really. Yeah, they're not gonna put no
A
boots on
bunch
the
of
ground.
moblins
Yeah,
running around
yeah,
Haiti,
you
like
feel me?
really looking like they're
So
trying to
and
recolonize that joint.
and even yeah, facts, big facts. And even the countries that are involved are pretty much black countries. You know what I'm saying? So like, so yeah, the representation definitely does matter. And apparently that's it's been pretty chill actually. With the addition of these newer forces, and some of these efforts to like take back some of the places that some of these gangs have taken. Like the gangs have even set up checkpoints and all that stuff. Like
Hmm.
so, they're working on obviously wreck and shop there, getting those places that they have control over, getting that back under control of as far as the government goes, and getting right with that. So other than that, that's really the biggest things. The like I mentioned before, the United States is providing a lot of mission supplies. And I think they mentioned about 2,696 tons of supplies. So I guess the U.S. is doing their part. But it does come back to like, can can there be an actual uh real situation as far as like infrastructure goes? Is that something that's actually possible at this point?
I mean,
I
that's
think
gonna be
they
a long-term planning, but you need a government for that.
yeah,
The
yeah. I mean,
emergency
they have the
forces
cabinet
aren't
there,
gonna
but
be
yeah,
involved in any of that planning for that sort of thing.
it's more transition than
They
anything
just need
with those
security,
forces.
and like the cabinet should be working on those kinds of plans, and like um for the whole of the country,
Mm,
as
yes.
they work on their first priority, which is
Mm,
security.
hmm. Yeah.
Security. And the close second is freaking food because there's a famine already happening.
Yes. Yes. I was actually listening to this podcast, random podcast that I found, and it was like these I guess you can call them, they're like Gen Z Haitians, but their Creole is very good. I mean, like the like it's like 90% Creole. Like they're talking in Creole 90% of the time. And I'm not talking about probably the one that you're probably talking. I'm not talking about HMP. I'm talking it's
Okay.
another podcast. It's like a whole nother podcast that's very small. I just randomly found them. Um
Okay.
but like they like these zones are like really they're really talking that talk for real. And there was a conversation about this in particular where they were like, "Yo, like Haiti's actually a place people can still actually low key still go to. You can still go to Jacques Mel. You can still go to some of these
Mhm.
places, right?" He's like, "It's really Port-au-Prince. It's really Port-au-Prince that you really need to like avoid for real, until they get things situated." So I mean, obviously surrounded. There
I've
seems
heard
to be,
that. I've heard
yeah.
that.
So it's apparently some surrounding area. So it's not. I guess it's not all bad, but as far as the famine thing, that is true. Darren is right about that. That is
Yeah.
a thing that has been reported for sure. Did you want to add something?
No, no, that's it.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what's been going on. They're just trying to gain some traction here and
More
try
of a
to get
holding
something going.
pattern.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I said more of a holding pattern, kind
Yeah,
of. You know, what I mean, as they just like implement these things. Yeah,
yeah, that's
we
it. So
gonna
that's
see. It's too early to tell. You know what
mhm.
trajectory is gonna be. We'll
but
see.
also but also wanted to mention is just in case if anybody's interested, like whatever channels you can find to like support, definitely do that. I think it's a great cause to give to. So
Great, great. Yeah, well, maybe we'll put in a link for an organization
yeah,
in the
yeah.
chat and look
Hmm.
for that.
Absolutely.
All right, moving right along. I just wanted to update some folks on some matters around the world too. So we've been worldwide toying with the idea of a shorter work week, but in
Hmm.
Greece, um, employees have been told that henceforth they can put in a 6 day of labor in an unorthodox step aimed at turbocharging productivity. They're talking about having a 6 day work week over there, like
That is insane.
adding 8 hours generally. So they could do it where like you can add like 2 hours to each day, or just do like um an 8 hour shift like on a Saturday or something or a Sunday.
Hmm.
Um, but like everybody in the world, we've been having these studies, and even here, we've had
Hmm.
some experiments in places where we're trying to get down to a 4 day work week.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, we're like we get it all done. Like I could really get all my work done. We okay, working for government, I get it. We we probably wouldn't qualify because um one of the things that they would make how they're justifying it is that it's the it's for like essential workers almost kind of thing, right? It's like for jobs that are
Okay.
24/7 kind of thing. You given the opportunity for people to do it. Let me go ahead and continue reading here. After outpacing other Europeans in terms of economic growth, the nation once at the heart of the continent's worst financial crisis has booked. Remember Greece went like bankrupt or something like that like a
Yeah,
couple
that
years
was
ago. That
kind of
was crazy.
wild.
So
Yeah, that was kind
it
of
brought
wild. Yeah.
down the economy collapse, and it brought but like they're freaking doing great now, right? Worst financial crisis has bucked the trend again, introducing a 48-hour working week. The measure, decided as barbaric by unions, takes effect on Monday. The pro-business government of the prime minister says the initiative was made and by the way, I skipped his whole name just there because that shit was Greek to me.
Yeah, that joint. Yeah,
All them letters in that joint was
yeah,
like
that joint.
that don't go next to that thing, but like
Mm,
see, I shouldn't even try.
mm,
He says that the initiative was made necessary by the twin perils of the shrinking population and shortage of skilled workers. Prior to announcing the legislation, part of a broader set of labor laws passed last year. He described the projected I can't even say he because I don't even know if it's a man or woman. So I'm gonna try to pronounce it here. Mitsotakis. Mitsotakis. Okay, let's go with that.
Kyriakos Mitsotakis.
I'm not gonna try the first name too.
I don't.
We
Yeah, I
get
don't.
that.
I don't know what that is now.
Describe the projected demographic shift as a ticking time bomb. In an unprecedented exodus, about 500,000 mostly young educated Greeks are estimated to have immigrated since the near decade long immigrated which with the E, so that's like when the people are leaving.
Mm,
Since the near decade long debt crisis erupted back in 2009. The 6 day scheme, officials say, only apply to here's the what I was getting to. It applies to only private businesses providing round the clock services under the extended working week.
okay.
And they say that it's they'll treat it almost like it's like overtime.
Okay. I guess that'll incentivize more people to like consider it. If it's like if it's being that it's overtime, the pay rate changes. get more. So if that's how the economy work, I'm
Yeah,
not sure
yeah. It's
if
a
that's yeah.
40%. You get 40%.
Okay.
The top off.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
so whatever you make, 40% of that, and then it's on the top.
On top of that, yeah, what you making for your
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So
Okay. Okay.
I
That,
mean, you have the option. If
yeah.
you I mean, I know people be doing overtime all the time too. So like,
But
but
people
like you
be
should like if you want to, what I mean, I
mm,
don't think they should make people do it.
yeah, yeah. It should be more of a choice. But I mean, people
Hmm.
honestly, man, even here in America, people don't be just working straight 40 hours. But like me, like I don't work straight 40 hours. Like
Yeah.
I easily work 50, 55 hours a week.
Yep.
Like
So it's
that's
like
regular. Yeah.
to get the 40% on top of it.
Hmm.
All right, maybe it may be worth my time. I was like,
What's up with this guilty plea with Boeing? Like
okay,
what they got going on, bro? They over here wilding again. Like what's up with them?
so we be keeping an eye on Boeing. You know what I mean? Since they
Yeah,
started making,
they
they
be
started
tweaking, bro.
figuring doing research. They putting all their research energy on how to make paper planes fly, right? And
Bro,
not actual real planes, because they using, the worst quality control methods and
they putting
everything with
aluminum
Boeing.
foil
So
on the engine or something. Like what they
you know what I
doing,
mean?
man?
Put some duct tape on that bit.
That's
They
it.
making it work wherever they can. But they have agreed to plead guilty to one charge of conspiracy to defraud the United States for its role in two fatal 737 MAX crashes, the Justice Department said in a court filing. This was last week. It represents yet another black eye for the company after a series of embarrassing safety blunders, but the agreement avoids what would have been more serious consequences.
Mm,
It will pay up to 487 million in fines, a fraction of the 24.8 billion that families of crash victims wanted the aircraft maker to pay. The families of victims of two fatal crashes with the 737 MAX opposed the deal, the department said.
mm,
Bro, they told us corporations are people too. How come ain't nobody going to jail?
cap.
You plead guilty and ain't nobody going to jail.
Mm-hmm. It's all cap.
But they said corporations are people too. They can donate to political campaigns like an individual. They could trade stock and asset and everything like they're individuals with companies, and they can have um like the same kind of bill of rights kind of shit like in front of the Supreme Court as a person would.
They're people.
So why ain't nobody going to jail?
They're people too, but they got lawyers. There are people with lawyers. There are people, and then there's people with lawyers.
Man, people with
That's what
lawyers
they
be going
are.
to jail too.
That's true, but some
People with lawyers. This ain't
that's
right.
true.
How you plead guilty to all these people because you and we already and we know that you have shoddy craftsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
We know it.
Yeah,
We got the proof.
that
It's
is very
definitely
true.
your fault. And you pled guilty. Somebody should be going to jail.
Somebody should be, but they got
Dog,
them.
it should be part of your contract. Dog. If you are CEO, CFO, like you got those titles, that executive suite, them titles,
Mm,
part of the thing would be like you are the personal embodiment
your person. That's
of
crazy.
this
ain't nobody,
company.
ain't nobody taking those positions if they
Bro,
see
you
that in the
better take that
bylaws.
because you are the embodiment of this company because corporations are people too. And so we need a
Mm,
bodily representation for that. That
yeah.
would be you. You're the CFO. You signed off
Mm,
on this joint inevitably was the person that signed off on this joint that
bruh.
that got all these people dead.
Mm-hmm.
You going to jail for the company.
Mm.
We paid you $80 million a year. We paid you $320 million a year.
Yeah, they got to be some liability somewhere for sure. For
Hey,
sure.
or you could be the
For
embodiment of the
sure.
company and just take the licks when the lick comes.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't just be paying some money, which is like, it's going to be a fraction of
Mm.
what you really owe. You're not paying what you owe. We need a body. I'm saying the rest of us need a body.
Need a body.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's jump to sports real quick, man. There's a lot going on in the sports world, but I'm just gonna try to run through this. And I know bro is gonna talk about quite a bit is going on in Wimbledon. Um I actually was watching I hit you up earlier about watching
Yeah.
your boy take that L. Your boy
Well,
Djokovic
yeah,
take that L.
I guess I can get to it right now. So
Yeah, for sure.
Wimbledon is done. That is
Mhm.
that was like a bucket list thing for me.
Yeah,
If
for
I could go
sure.
to
For
a
sure.
Wimbledon match, I don't
Wimbledon
care
would be
which
lit.
week.
Wimbledon would
That
be
should be
lit.
so lit. But I was actually hearing they was doing some ticket pricing, and for the men's final,
Mm-hmm.
right? The men's
I
final,
know that
there
joint
was
was a grip.
a ticket for the highest ticket was $17,000.
Bro,
That was the
17,000.
highest ticket. The 17.
Bruh.
And then they told us the get in price. Do you know what the get in price is?
I would say 5 bands.
But do you know what that term means?
The lowest amount you can pay to even get in.
Just to get in.
Just to get in the door. Yeah, that's
Just to get in.
Just to get in.
How would you think?
I would say 5 bands.
Maybe it was 10.
10 bands, bro.
that was the
Nah.
get in price, dog. I gotta go. I'm trying to go to Wimbledon, dog.
That's so I will say this though. I will say this though. I ain't gonna lie. Like the gold medal game for the men's gold medal game, there were people selling tickets for 10 bands. Easy. So I kind of can understand, but a Wimbledon ticket, bro, to get in, 10 bands to get in, bro.
Get to get in, son.
How you
for the finals? But again, that's the finals. That's the men's finals.
I feel that, but dang, like how you hating outside the club? You can't. That's yo, Tim.
I'm gonna have to be like one of those like Make-A-Wish kids or something like that. I'm gonna on my dying bed and be like for me to be able to get somebody to like grant my wish, of like get me to Wimbledon, dog.
Yeah, bro,
that's crazy, dog.
That's crazy, bro.
It's 10K,
to get in
man.
Is wild.
And that don't even count. They don't even say nothing about the hotel.
That's
concessions. I'm definitely give me a t-shirt or tank top.
Something. Like, yeah.
Hey, dog, that's gonna be well, but I mean, it's on my list.
Yeah.
Maybe if I could even, maybe it's opening weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be dope. But yeah. So okay, it's over now.
Mm-hmm.
On the women's side, what's her name? So the fan favorite will be Paolini. She's an Italian. She's short. It's a shorty. You know what I mean? She's Italian, and like she's just like so cute. You know what I mean? And she's got the curly hair, and she's just always smiling, and she's just like a ball of energy around the court, right? And so she's always been like a crowd favorite every time she's on the court, whether if it's here or if it's at the French Open or something like that.
What's her name?
Jasmine Paolini.
Okay, Jasmine Paolini. Okay.
And so she has I think she's made 2 finals back to back now. Actually, and she lost. She was supposed to win this, but okay, she lost. But that Jasmine Paolini, and she played what's her name, Krejcikova.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I feel like I say this, that was one of the best tennis matches I've seen in a long time.
Come on, bro.
It was the drama and the intensity and the back and forth. I'm like, oh, is it gonna be this? Oh, is it gonna go that way? It's like, yo, it went to a tie break.
Okay.
At the end of it, it went to like, it was like they could have made a movie at the freaking Krejcikova was on the ropes and it was over for her.
Mm-hmm.
She was crying in the middle of the match. In the middle, it wasn't over yet. She still had like serves to go, and they still had like.
Are we talking about the same person?
Krejcikova.
Okay, why was she crying?
Because because Paolini, the crowd favorite, had her like dead to rights. It was like, I think she was like 2 serves away.
Okay, and she
2 serves away from winning the whole thing.
Dang, she was already feeling the pressure. She was already cracking.
And she was feeling that pressure. And like, wait a minute, I still need. Paolini isn't even on the last serve yet, potentially. Or it's like, mommy was just breaking down, and she came back to win.
Oh wow!
She won the whole thing.
Okay.
Dog, that's not a movie, dog. That's not a movie.
A little bit. A little bit.
Dog, and Paolini, you know what I mean? She's gonna be in the mix for a while. She's like a miniature like Energizer Bunny around the court, and and she's for her. But I'm sorry, but I think she's just a little too small to. I mean, she's been to 2 finals
to get to every serve. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and to like end up putting the power behind the serve, and to be able to
because you need to be a little more rangy for tennis. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, man, these taller folks.
But look at Alcaraz. Alcaraz is not really.
Alcaraz is as tall as Djokovic.
Is
he? He's stocky. He doesn't look that tall, but he's just as tall.
I mean, but he's a different animal though. He's a whole different animal.
That boy's a whole beast.
Yeah. He's just an animal.
Speaking of which, Alcaraz won. He beat Djokovic, and first of all, Alcaraz Carlos better have won. And I think, and by the way, he won in straight sets. That last set was a little tough. It shouldn't have been. But it was a little tough. But he won in straight sets. Djokovic hasn't lost in straight sets in maybe in straight sets, maybe at least 5 or 6 years. Somebody beats it in straight sets.
Djokovic gotta pass that torch, man.
And it's disrespectful that he just had knee surgery 4 weeks ago. Why are you even in this tournament? But not only are you in this tournament, he makes it to the finals.
So that goes to show you that Djokovic is still a problem.
Bro,
he's still a problem.
Knee surgery 4 weeks ago.
That's commendable.
That's disrespectful, dog. I'm gonna have to take it. I'm gonna have to take it straight sets. You ain't gonna play with me. I won Wimbledon last year. Alcaraz did. He won it last year.
Yeah, he won last year.
So he's the title holder currently. You know what I mean? I'm gonna defend my chair. You gonna come here with busted knees? You should have been out first, second round. He took that personally, apparently, and Alcaraz worked them straight sets. As it should be. And Alcaraz does not look like he's ready to slow down anytime soon.
Oh, not
that boy is got titles and titles and titles ahead of him. And I'm living in interesting times.
Yeah, no, Shorty, he's very good. Like he's like if you see him play physically, like if you see him play, you're like, oh yeah, this guy's different. He's
an athlete. Like, he's not just a tennis player. That was an athlete.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. Like you'll see a tennis player, like, yeah, this guy's skilled. Like he's like, this guy's like an athlete though. He's like he's like a hooper playing
he can probably
tennis.
hoop. He can probably hoop.
Yeah, he probably can hoop. He probably can hoop. He just knows how to play tennis.
Play with it.
Yeah, like
no, he's actually saying he was trying to play. What did he play the other day? He was trying to play golf. And Dad kicked his butt. Golf kicked his butt. Got him. That shit got him. He's like, I was trying to do it to relax.
And he ended up getting stressed out.
Bro, that's not what you want to do to relax.
Yeah,
you're not
relax,
good at golf, dog.
Yeah, golf is frustrating.
That is frustrating.
Gas is. I said gas. Golf is extremely frustrating. Yes, it really is. Well, let's jump to some more team sports. So the Olympics, right? We all know everybody's ramping up for the Olympics and all that. We talked about
some of these guys from Wimbledon are turning right around and going to Paris.
Yeah, and going straight to Paris. They had to go compete there. USA track team. I think we mentioned that as well. The team. So the teams have been finalized for the women and the men. And all your favorites are going to be there pretty much. I mean, there's a few. I think Coleman.
I heard Kawhi's not going to be there.
Yeah, yeah. I was talking about track and field, but we could jump to basketball.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Kawhi. So we would have jumped to that. Because with track and field, the teams have been as far as the track and field, the teams have been solidified. They got the teams going. One quick thing about the track and field, we got a shorty going, 60-year-old. His name is Quincy.
Running
Wilson.
grown man times,
going crazy. Shorty's going crazy. What's awesome about Quincy Wilson, he's running a 4. He's been on a 4x4 team. He's running a 44. He ran a 44.66. 44.66. And then, but his faster time, he actually ended up running. He won his heat, and he ended up running in the semis and ran a 44.5, 44.59.
That boy is a twig. That boy is a twig.
Yeah, straight twig.
How is he generating this muscle power?
Yeah, he is smoking. Shorty is at 16.
How is he able to freaking get the leverage from the cartilage to the tendon to propel himself?
Bro, just the
Like when I say he's 16 years old, he has a 16-year-old body.
Like he doesn't have like a.
It's not like
he's a-
he's not like Willis McGahee coming out of high school.
Yeah, like he's yeah, he's
That's
not
different.
That's different.
He got a legit 16-year-old body.
Yeah, like legit, like he looks like you see him, you're like, yeah, that's a teenager. He has a teenage.
He's a child.
He's a child.
Go to school, nigga. Go.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you got homework, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's really that. Like, Shorty really ran a 44.59. Like, and that gave him an automatic bid to join the 4x400 relay pool.
Easy call.
So yeah. So pretty much. So if you're running that, like, yeah, we're looking at you to join that 4x400 team, bro. Like, or at least be they have like reserves too. They have the main team and they'll have like 2 reserves. So I believe he's definitely gonna be there. I mean, that kid is that's absurd. That's
and to wait another 4 years, like before you can go to Olympics again, like
yeah. So I definitely
go to Olympics. You go if you can go now, go now.
Yeah, I definitely think, especially at the way he's running now. Yeah, so I think we're definitely gonna see him out there for sure. So shout out to Quincy Wilson, man. He's doing big things. He's actually from out here, from Maryland, from Bowie, Maryland. So so it's dope. So they got obviously some athletes here in DMV. Moving on to some other things. So USA basketball team, they've been practicing. They're in Abu Dhabi now. They had some practice runs there. You probably seen. If you guys follow, they probably seen some footage on YouTube, IG, or whatever. So they get into it. They getting up and down. A couple of days ago, they actually had a showcase. The U.S. team had a showcase against Canada. Looked a little shaky, but the U.S. was also missing KD. So KD wasn't playing. But it looked a little shaky.
Let's put a pin in that. By the way, speaking of KD, I'll talk about that later.
Okay. So yeah. He they looked a little shaky, but they pulled out for the win against Canada.
What you say was wrong with KD? Why he wasn't there?
No, he was. I didn't actually really look to see why he wasn't. He might have been nursing something, but he wasn't playing though.
But he's gonna he's gonna be on the team though.
Oh yeah, no, he's on the team. He just wasn't at that. He just wasn't at the showcase. He didn't play the showcase against Canada. But he's on the team. Like he's there. He's practicing. He's running around. He just wasn't at the showcase. Okay. So the U.S. beat Canada 86-72. So they were able to actually finally pull away. They got started getting a little bit of chemistry. That's always gonna be the big thing with the Olympic team. One kid that stood out, Cooper Flagg. Shorty is nice. He actually, it's the interesting thing about him is that he's a white boy that can hoop. Like he could really hoop, like not just like just a shooter or like a one trick pony. Like he actually like could really hoop for real. 6'9", rangy, can shoot the ball, get to the basket, play defense. Like he's a very versatile wing. So he's definitely that. He actually transferred over from the school he was playing in Maine. He actually moved down to Florida, to Mount Verde. Anybody knows that Mount Verde is a powerhouse school when it comes to basketball, high school basketball. So went to Mount Verde for a year, to get that bump there. Easily dominated. He was easily the best player there. So Shorty is nice. He's going to Duke. But the thing that's even more interesting is that he was giving the U.S. men work. If you saw some of the scrimmages in the practices, Shorty was hooping. He was scoring on Drew Holiday, scoring on AD. He actually. You remember you said earlier about if you go at the king, you better not miss. He definitely was going at LeBron. he definitely was going at LeBron. Like, but he was playing very well. And even it's one thing for the media to hype a player up, but when the players themselves, when you see it your own eyes, number one. But when the players themselves are just like, oh yeah, Shorty the one. Like he's really that. Like the players themselves was giving him props. Like, yo, like you're a pro. Like you're already a pro. Like legit, he really should be going from high school to the pros. But they still got that 1 year stipulation thing that's going on. And outside of that, obviously, like the whole thing about like going to different programs like OTE, some programs you can go to, or straight to the G League. So you have some of those alternatives as well. But apparently he wants to go to Duke. Like, he wants to have that.
Funny, they didn't say. I didn't hear quotes like that coming out about Bronny from the players.
So we can talk. We can talk about Bronny, and all the favoritism he's getting. Boy, oh boy, Bronny is actually showing. He's had, because there's been a couple of summer league games. He's actually been showing why. And I'm not saying this to knock Bronny. I actually support Bronny. I want him to do well, but we see why he only averaged 4 points a game in college. We can see that. My thing was with Bronny, I was like, bro, just stay another year, bro. You got the intangibles, you got the ability, bro. You just need another year. But we seeing what it is. Like we are.
But do that boy LeBron got another year? That's the question.
But see, I mean,
that's
bro,
the question.
Braun signed a 3-year deal. He's not gonna be there for 3 years, bro. He got a player option in his deal. He's not gonna be there for 3 years. He just probably want that experience just to hoop with his with his son. At least
That's what I'm saying. That's what
yeah,
it comes down to.
that's all it is, bro. Like I think the most I can see LeBron being at the Lakers from now until he retires, 2 more years max. And it might really just be like a year and a half. He might be like half of the year, be like, I'm done, y'all boys.
I'm out.
I'm out. You feel
Fades
me?
into the bushes.
So, and a couple of things about Bronny though, that's kind of like, I did say shout out to nepotism last time, but bro, there's some things that's been going on that's kind of like, come on, bro. This is a little bit much, bro. Your boy Bronny got a $500,000 advance, right? Which is wild. Like
the man gotta eat. The man gotta eat, don't he?
First of all, Bronny's already coming into the league, already worked 5-6 million already, right? Just from NILs, right? And for sponsorships, he's already worked that, right? And that's just a reportable income.
He's
that's
a
aside from
boy.
like, bro.
He's gotta eat.
So he already got that advance, and he got a guaranteed contract for $7.9 million as a 55th pick. For perspective, the 55th pick last year, 2023, right? I'm gonna give you guys some perspective. This is kind of crazy, right? Where is he at? So it was a guy. His name is, I'm trying to see it. His name is Wong. His last name is Wong. Isaiah Wong. That's his name. Isaiah Wong.
Is he in the league?
So no, no. This is the 55th pick last year, right? 2023. Isaiah Wong. He signed with the Pacers, right? He signed as a two-way contract, which is what happens with a guy who's picked 55th, right?
Okay.
Two-way contract. His contract was worth $559,782. That was his contract, right? And under the new CBA rules, it is only partially guaranteed if the player secures a regular season roster spot. Right now, last year, this guy, Isaiah Wong, he didn't play a single minute last season.
Did he secure a roster spot?
He didn't secure a roster spot. He didn't play a single minute. He was actually there, but he didn't play a single minute at all. He was just on the bench the whole year. He's not even on the Pacers Summer League roster. Not even on their Summer League roster. And right now, he's basically a free agent right now. Yeah. So he's not even. This is what a 55th pick typically. That's what happens with a 55th pick. But Bronny has a guaranteed contract. But you got to negotiate your contract. Chill, bro. It's definitely because of LeBron.
But you come in with the leverage you got. You come in with the leverage you got. You know,
this is why I say shout out to nepotism, right? This is why I say shout out to nepotism. But man, come on, bro. This
is like right in your face, isn't it? It's
yeah,
like
you
right
feel me? Like make it a little sneaky. You feel me? But like, but right in my face though.
True nepotism is a little sneaky. Like
you feel me? Like you know I mean? It's a little covert, but like really right in my face, bro.
Like we all know what's going on, but nobody going.
Yeah, but nobody kind of like
gotta say it what's going on. But like you saying it, you gotta like a bullhorn, right? With that joint.
Yeah, you feel me? Like it's bro. It's like, come on, man. This is absurd, bro. So Bronny got it going on. So it is what. Shout out to Bronny. Last thing I wanted to go through real quick is just like the soccer teams, U.S. men's soccer team and women's soccer team. They're both actually ranked. So the men's qualified. The U20 men's, which is basically the U.S. men's team now for the Olympics. At this point, because they qualified 2 years ago. So they beat Honduras 3-0 back then. They qualified in the CONCACAF U20, the CONCACAF U20 championship back in July 2022. So that's how they qualified, getting an automatic bid into the Olympics. So they actually ranked number 5 in the world right now. So it's actually pretty impressive. The U.S. men's team has actually been showing up pretty well. And it's been a drought. They haven't qualified since 2008. So first time they qualified.
The women's team has been holding down football in this country.
Yeah. The women's team also obviously qualified as well. And they're also ranked number 5.
I think one of the main, I forgot I didn't catch her name, but I think one of the captains from last time, she didn't make the team this time.
Alex Morgan?
I don't remember who it was, but I saw some headline like that she to make the team.
Wow, so that's interesting. That's kind of weird. Yeah.
I don't know if it was her though, but
okay. Yeah.
They still holding it down.
Yeah, they still holding it down. Personally, my prediction, I don't see either the men's or women's team getting past the quarterfinals. That's my prediction. So I'm just gonna
Okay.
just gonna stop right there.
What up, fam? It's Darwin, the guy that was just talking. First off, thanks for watching and supporting the show. But I gotta give y'all some homework. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to interact with the show. That means 1, hitting that like button, because I know you like our stuff. 2, make sure you subscribe so we can swim our way up your timeline whenever we drop new content. The third thing, please share the channel with your friends. Maybe they'll learn a thing about a thing or two. Oh, last thing, we're over here talking about what y'all talking about. So go ahead and carry that conversation on into the comments. We be up in there too.
Do you have the challenge? Is
Yeah.
there ever something, bro? You doing that fucking thing.
That was weird.
Oh my
That pause was like weird. Like, wait,
It was-
what?
It was for dramatic. It was for dramatic effect.
That was hella
But I was
dramatic.
asking the audience.
Yeah.
Do you have a challenge? Or have you ever had a challenge? I was trying to do the narrative topic, but clearly, Darn is
That-
hating. He
I
didn't let it
I
happen.
did not see that one coming.
Sure. But anyways, we like to share our challenges. I just wanted to know if you guys had challenges because I know we all have challenges. So, but with that being said, I'm just gonna hand it off to bro, man. Do you have any challenges you'd like to share with the folks?
Yeah, I like to get something off my chest.
Mm-hmm.
You can teach old dogs new tricks.
Absolutely.
Old dog new tricks.
Mhm.
I'm on a softball team. Softball
I
league.
remember you told me about that. Okay, all right.
We officially
Alright.
started. I played softball one time, maybe for like one season, like 15 years ago or something like that. And so
You
you know,
You ain't hitting dingers, man.
At home, they call me Big Al, and I hit dingers.
and that's the challenge.
Yeah,
I'm trying to hit dingers,
yeah. Facts.
and I didn't realize it don't just come like that.
You don't. It really don't.
Yo, there's a whole
There's
technique
really a skill for it. Yeah, it's a really
to
it's a
hitting
technique.
home runs.
Yeah, facts.
It's
Yeah.
so frustrating. Like
Mm.
I'm
Yep.
like I'm looking at some of these guys, and I'm like, I mean, look at him and look at me. Who you think gonna hit the home run?
Yeah.
And it's kind
Yep.
of like this is just random freaking guy who's, I mean, we're all just random guys, like weekend
Mhm.
warrior type thing,
Mhm.
But like he's hitting them over the fence. And I'm like, what am I
Blasting these
doing?
ones.
So it's like, turns out it's like there's a whole technique.
It's not just all power, man.
There's a whole freaking technique.
Yep.
So I have to learn the technique for that. But
Mhm.
then it's also like you ain't just here for the at bats. You have to go play defense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
So you got to also
true.
learn how to do that joint, and like
Mhm.
I can catch decently.
That's frustrating for me to catching.
But bruh, like them pop-ups, you think it's landing right here, but like you just don't know the
adjusted- yeah.
trajectory, and
Trajectory's
it's
crazy, yeah.
adjusting. It's still going that way a little
Yeah.
bit. It feels like it's going here, and that bit like right behind you a little bit.
Mhm.
That's a whole muscle that I ain't know I had to work out.
Yeah. Yep.
So I gotta do that. But
Yeah.
I think I found my space. I played for the first time, second base.
Mhm.
I was playing outfield, and that didn't go so well. I
Mm.
played catcher, but like softball catcher is mad boring. There's not much that goes on there. I think catcher in major leagues is probably pretty exciting. And so I found myself at second base this time around, and I think I could do that joint. I think I could do that joint. You know what I mean? I almost
Mm.
turned a double play. I almost had that double play.
Okay.
Didn't quite get there, but
All
like
right.
I also don't exactly know where I'm supposed to be, depending
Mhm.
on where the ball is hit and what side of the or not. So like I'm getting coaching from these guys who are like, and it turns out, I guess, I'm meeting some new folks, right?
Mhm.
So that's a plus sign. But like these guys are willing to like coach me up, and like you show me the ropes and all that kind of stuff, and like picking up on like these folks have been playing together for a while, and they played in an actual league, and it's at a risk of their making it to playoffs and all that kind of thing. People pay
Mhm.
money for this sort of thing by taking on a new guy. So
Huh.
I'm
Okay.
I'm doing what I can, but like it'd be nice to hit a dinger.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be nice. I'd like that.
We can count on you for something.
There's one guy. I do stuff. I do
Okay.
stuff because I
Okay.
legit like I have a really amazing on base average because like I'm always making contact,
Mhm.
but it's always like a ground ball, and it's like I'm hitting it hard because I'm trying to hit a dinger.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like
Okay.
it skates past the shortstop. You know what I mean? It goes over the
Okay.
head of the you know what I mean the second baseman or something like that. But it's
Okay.
like
So
on
you
the
actually
ground.
get hits. You actually get hits. Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting
Yeah.
hits,
Getting
so
hits,
I'm on
yeah.
base, and so I get to base run.
Yeah. Which is fun. Base run is fun. Well, when you're younger, it's fun. I don't know when you're older though. That joint
Well, I
might be
mean,
a lot to
there's a whole
endure.
nother technique to that too. How you run the bases
Mhm.
because
Because it's not just straight on, right? Because I
you
see when
can't go
guys run
straight
the
on. You
bases.
got to kind of curve
Yeah,
it.
you got to
gotta
curve that.
like
Yeah,
bend the bullet and go around the thing.
you got to run that curve. Yeah.
And so like,
Yeah.
you know, you got to know where to hit the bag when you bounce off of it to like get momentum and all that stuff. So that joint is tough.
Mm.
And being as fast as I am, you can't be that fast on a baseball field because you got to turn.
Yeah.
That bit ain't a 40-yard dash.
Yeah, you gotta be able to control and
You gotta
shift.
be able to
shift
control that
directions.
joint, right?
Yeah.
And acceleration, deceleration, like
Mhm.
you gotta be good at that. So like, damn, you didn't realize how much that had to translate, right?
Yeah.
Man, this dude called me and I was heading to third base on a base run. I got moved. Let's see, I got to somebody hit a pop fly or something like that. And anyway, I
Okay.
got to run from
Mhm.
first to what should have been third.
Mhm.
I'm getting to third, and he was like, stay, stay, stay. And then I guess he's judging from what's happening with the outfield and the ball. And he's like, go, go, go. And he's
Okay.
like, no, stay, go.
What?
Like, like I start decelerating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, oh snap, I can make it. You mean I can make it? So he told me to go because that's like the coach that's on the side. He's like, you can go. They'll give you the green light or red light. Man, I turned that damn corner. I would have been safe at third. I made it to third. I'm good.
Mm.
Right? But he told me to go at the last second. And so like I take off to home base. The dude fucking throws me out. And I freaking pull my hamstring.
Bro, that same hamstring, man.
I'm like, yo, like I didn't pull it. It kind of strained it a little bit. You know what I mean? But it's like I tweaked out like, oh fuck, I feel it. So I was like,
joint though.
I had to like really like gingerly limp around for the rest of the damn game because this dude like had me like going all the stop and go business.
The acceleration and
You know what I mean? And then like I'm trying to take off because I'm like I look over my shoulder. I'm like he told me to go, and like I see people doing actions like they're trying to catch a ball, so I'm trying to like accelerate even faster, and like he ends up throwing me out anyways, and I freaking like tweaked my hamstring for that joint, and I could have been safe on freaking third. And I'm still not hitting any dingers, so I'm not getting the good side. I understand. I don't see the good side of this thing. No, this one dude hit a home run for the first time. He said this is the first time in his life he's hit a home run. Dog, I just saw the joy, and that boy was that was so hype. That boy, because I was like, no, because like I'm in the dugout, I'm like, hey, good job, you know what I mean? Whatever, he comes in, and like, and so that was it, and like, I'm still sitting there waiting, for the rest of the game to go on, and I'm just look over, and he's over there just like by himself in the corner of the dugout, just like, and I was like, what? I was like, what's going on? You good? He's like, that's my first one. And I was like, your first one for the season? You're good? Like, he's like, that's my first one ever. I was like, damn, this dude, like, he's gonna explode. He felt so good.
Yeah,
He felt so good.
Yeah.
So I feel like that could be me, though.
Yeah.
That could be me. So I'm trying. I'm be like, there's a technique, man. I don't know. I have to like fucking learn how to like get under it the right way. But it's like apparently you don't really get under it. But you do have to like have an upward swipe. But the thing is, softball. It's not like baseball. You know what I mean?
So it's because it is you're right because it is a softball. It's a bigger ball.
And the trajectory is different.
Trajectory is different. Yeah.
So it's like it's
heavy. Is it no wait? Is it heavier than an actual baseball? Or is it
I don't know if
lighter?
it's heavier. It might not even.
I think it's bigger,
heavier,
but it's lighter.
But it's bigger. That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
But it might not be. It might be the same weight. Tell the truth.
Huh.
But the thing is, because it's bigger, the aerodynamics change.
Yeah, it's changed. Yeah, yeah. It's more friction in the air and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I don't
So
know.
it's really hard. Yeah, so it's actually hard to hit a home run with a softball. Actually, then.
I know we played a team a couple weeks ago, and they had like 3 or 4 dudes like just banging it out.
just booming them.
I'm like, what the hell they doing?
Yeah.
Banging it out, dog, and just like it was good to go. And we was at a different field, so I think that field was actually further, and those dudes was freaking knocking them out the park. And we had a couple of guys hit home runs that in that particular game.
Yeah.
But for that one guy I was talking about, this was his first ever. That boy was hype.
Dang, that's
And
dope. So Denver experiment. This sounds like, you know what it sounds like to me when I see that? The first thing that came to my mind was like, is this like a Tuskegee experiment 2.0? What the heck is going on?
I mean, that's kind of wild.
Is it that sinister?
Well,
it is Denver, Colorado. I don't know.
It is an experiment that you're trying
Area 51.
to...
No, just no. Go ahead.
I think Area 51. That might be Nevada.
It might be Nevada. Yeah, it might be Nevada.
One of those places.
Close enough.
But this experiment, it is a real world experiment.
Okay.
And but it's not. I mean, it's monetary. You know, what I mean, it's not. So it's not. You know, there's not. I mean, I guess you could still say, you know, lives are at stake here, but enough beating around the bush. So there's an experiment in Colorado that it doled out money to homeless people in Denver, no strings attached. And this
feels like UBI.
What happened? Say what?
This feels like UBI. A little bit.
Universal basic income. Pretty much that's what they did. So I'm not going to bury the lead. It was a success. The percentage of people who had housing at the 10-month check-in of the Denver Basic Income Project climbed 45%. Right? So this experiment...
Who knew? When people have resources, what they do with it?
They might find a freaking a roof over their head. The project also saved tax dollars. According to the report, researchers tallied an estimated $589,214 in savings on public services. These public services, which we don't count, which we don't really look into and really visualize, are things like the ambulance rides, visits to the hospital, jail stays, even the shelters. That's paid by public dollars. So, and somebody goes to jail, that's the public paying for that.
Yes.
If people don't see that as the money that goes out, but like when you don't send somebody to jail, when you don't have them go into the hospital emergency services, which is, again, if the person doesn't have insurance, the public is paying for that sort of thing. That stuff kind of adds up. Get somebody a house to live, there's way more safety. There's less chance of injury, less chance of robbery, less chance of conflict, you know, less chance of sickness because they're indoors, right? Sanitation, all kinds of reasons. Like the benefits were just, you know, I'm gonna put a pause right there because I'm gonna go into that for a second. But the percentage of people who had housing at the 10-month mark, as I mentioned, went from 45%. I think the best way for me to go through this story is to go through the charts.
Yeah.
There's several charts they provide, and it speaks for itself, just like the visual of it. And we're gonna provide this on the show for you guys' viewing pleasure. Remember, check out at Another Challenge Day. Just type that in on YouTube. When you go to YouTube, just type it at Another Challenge Day, and you can watch the show. Some people might find the show through Spotify. You know, we're eventually trying to transition all our stuff to in audio format only, but mostly, you know, if you're watching on YouTube, you know, turn on the screen and check out some of these visuals, right? So first chart up here, participants in house or apartment. They had 3 different groups. They grouped these people in. There was one group that got $1,000 a month. There's another group that had I think it was something like $6,500. What was that? What was the other group? It was something like $6,500 at from the jump, and then they paid them $100 a month for the next few months, whatever.
Okay.
And then there was a last group that they only paid $50 a month to.
$50 a month. Yep.
So you have to double check me on that, but you can check this article out at coloradosun.com. So if you want to check my numbers on that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you're right.
At first,
Group A receive 1,000 per month. Group B 6,500 per first month and 500 for the next 11 months. And then Group C receive 50 per month, like you mentioned. Yep.
okay, so that's the breakdown.
That's a
So
breakdown.
like,
Yep.
but you don't really need to know those exact numbers for like the results here.
Hmm?
When you look at this first thing, like just in terms of people having a place to stay, the first group originally when they started off the study, 6% had a place to stay, had a roof over their head. When they finished the study, 44% of the people in the study.
44%. Wow.
Group B, another 6%. That
Mm.
group went up to 48%. And mind you, this thing says um that people that were housed in their own house or apartment by the end of the study. That means some of them bought homes, not just
Mm.
renting. Some of them purchased homes. Group C was started off at 12%. At the end, 43% had housing. That's crazy. Next chart, next chart
Mm.
up. Like the numbers tell the case. So this is the percentage of unsheltered participants sleeping outside at start of the of versus at the 10 month mark. So group A, 29% was sleeping outside. At the end, 9%. They brought it down to 9% sleeping outside. Group B, from 43% sleeping outside to 25% sleeping outside. Group C, 36% sleeping outside, down to 16. Across the spectrum of the different groups, less people sleeping outside, less vulnerability, less bad look on us as a society for having people sleep outside.
Yeah.
It just freaking works. And the charts will tell you the tale. You can go read the article further here. But universal basic income ain't having nobody dining at Red Lobster every day. It ain't that. You're basically helping yourself out. You're doing good by your own neighborhood, your own society. If you there were people in LA complaining about like resale value for their homes and stuff because there's have like homeless people living on the freaking sidewalk.
Yeah.
Your resale value for your home could go up. You just give these people a place to stay, and your tax dollars, which is already allocated, can just go to these sort of programs. Or maybe they say, you know what? We'll raise your gas price by a penny per gallon. Do yourself a favor and like vote for that. Yeah,
Yep.
your taxes are going to go up by a penny or 15 cents or whatever. Or the postal service charges a little bit more for that forever step, whatever that thing is. But it's like, if you have a little bit of a bigger picture, a little bit of imagination, you're helping yourself out in the long term because now look, somebody comes visit your place or for sale or do business, for example, at your restaurant, whatever you got going on there, and there's less like people hanging around and doing stuff that the desperate people are doing on the street in front of your store. It can help out your business. It can help out your home sales.
Well, you're, but this
It
is
just
also
makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense when you do the math. But you're also but it's also expecting that people have an altruistic look on life. When shout out to Richard Dawkins, most people operate from a selfish gene.
The selfish gene.
So
So
I mean,
but
it's
the thing is, so that's the thing, and that's the thing. We
mhm.
got, but it also works the other because it cuts the other way too. Because we want to legislate morality. We wanted to
Okay,
make it to a thing like, oh,
okay,
they need to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. They
mhm,
need to like learn a lesson, but it's like, bro, you painting a broad brush for all of the situation. There's
mhm,
like mental health reasons. There's like divorce reasons. There's
yeah,
like drug abuse reasons, which is we consider mental health as apparently but like we frown on that. We don't really freaking resources like the way we're supposed to in terms of treatment.
mhm.
But it's like, dog, nobody wants to live miserably. Nobody
Nobody, of course,
wants to live there.
nobody desires that.
Nobody's making a
Nobody does.
choice of living on the streets.
Mhm.
There's a lot of freaking circumstances that led to the situation where somebody's living on the freaking streets.
Yes.
We mentioned it before. we, and I don't know if you ever felt it or internalized it yourself, Jeff, but like we have been homeless.
Yes.
We haven't been unhoused though.
Mm-hmm.
That's another level.
Yeah.
That's sleeping on the street, cardboard box under an overpass type of
Mhm.
situation on a in a tent.
Mm-hmm.
We've been at least housed. That still sucks being
Mm-hmm.
homeless,
Mm-hmm.
but being unhoused is even crazier. So like this included unhoused people. This included unhoused people and homeless people,
Yeah.
like without their own home. So like you're sleeping on somebody's couch, maybe
Mm-hmm.
somebody's
Mm-hmm.
floor,
Mhm.
right, or in your car, right.
Mhm.
You still have kind of roof over you. You still got some protection from the elements and everything. You're not
Yep.
on the street, but it included all of these. And these this is like significant increases in the quality of life of all these people.
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority. It wasn't 100%, granted, but we don't need to get 100%.
Yeah.
We just need to do better by folks.
This
And
is just telling that people will more than likely choose to do better to get themselves if they're given opportunity.
give
They
them an
will choose.
opportunity.
They will choose to
Mad
do
people
things
that's
that will
on
help that will do better.
welfare
Yeah.
don't stay on welfare.
Yeah.
They
The
just
majority.
use it
Yeah.
for the little bit.
The majority of folks.
Use it for
Yeah.
a little bit and get themselves right, and then they good.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right about
Nobody
that. Yeah.
wants to live on government cheese
Yeah. No. Yeah.
when there's freaking
Yeah.
brie out here, son.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like nobody wants to live that way. This
Nobody wants to be poor. Nobody wants to live in poverty. That's not something
yeah,
that
it's
people
not a
desire to do.
choice.
Yeah.
And we have ways to help people get up out of that.
Yeah.
And not just to subsidize it to where they're just like stay in that, but like help them get out of that. And things
Yeah.
like this show, we can help them get out of that until they're self-sustaining. This is why our prison system should be a reform system rather than just an incarceration place.
Mm-hmm.
They call it a correctional facility, but they ain't doing no correcting for what is wrong with society while these people are away and in this space.
And then you also, but then you also have corporations that have a part to play in this as well, right? They benefit from a poverty class. I actually just saw the stat
Well, there
recently.
you go. And we
$11
choose
billion.
to subsidize them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I saw the stat the other day. Banks get $11 billion annually from overdraft fees, bro. So when you see stats like that, and when you understand that, oh, so some of these corporations and banks are profiting, they are profiting from a poverty class, so they're incentivized in a way to contribute to keeping a working poor or poverty type of class, because the people who are overdrafting are people who can't.
Now I'll tie that right into the election too, by the way, because
Yeah.
guess what? Overdraft fees and overdraft the putting a limit on that is something that's a thing now because liberals and the Democrats fought for it and got that into legislation.
Interesting. Didn't know that. Okay.
But you don't vote out. You're out there. You don't vote because the two parties are the same. And when you go look at who in Congress voted for that legislation and who voted against it,
I gotta give them credit.
Things like this happen all the time, B.
I gotta give them credit
for
that.
Your bottom line, for your pocket. You listening out there, for your pocketbook. The rationale is there. If you go find the legislation, find the proof, find the proper news source to inform you about that kind of crap. But you'll feel the vibe is different, so you want to vote for this other guy because the vibes. Okay. But all I know is that it is possible in places, and shout out to Denver for trying some joint like this.
Cool,
I'm actually going out to Denver next year, going snowboarding out there. So I'm looking forward to being.
You might need to chill, bro.
A muscle punk, bro.
I don't know.
It's looking good in Denver, man.
Yo, them slopes ain't, bro. Them joints ain't nothing to play with.
The rivers and the lakes that I'm used to.
Yeah.
I think Colorado. I heard the elevation is gonna be something serious to deal with.
Yeah, that joint is different out there, bro. Like, what you got it though? Oh, hey friends, welcome to the vibes.
That was so good.
Y'all know what time it is. It's the vibes, the vibes, the vibes. We always vibing to something.
Yes, sir.
We always got some recommendations for y'all. So, with that being said, I'm gonna jump right into it, bro. What you got for us on the vibes? What you been listening to?
Starting off with the honorable mentions, like we tend to do.
All
Something
right.
we mentioned that we would be following up on last time was the Not Like Us
Mm-hmm.
video came out.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, Kendrick is still on his victory lap. I think this is it. I think this is it. This is the
Is
final
nail in the
piece.
coffin? Okay.
The nail in the coffin to the victory. Well, he did. I think the nail in the coffin, man. That was the that might have been that concert, man. That joke was just crazy. That concert, that just nailed the coffin
Mm,
there. But like, this was already in the works for that. It was kind of like, you had to button it up in a nice little bow,
mm.
nice little bow. So I think that's what this video for me. That's
Yeah,
kind of what it was. What
yeah, they were just
did
having a good time. We're just having a good
you watch
time,
the
man.
video?
Yeah, I saw the video.
Yeah,
That's all it was. It was like it was literally like a block party, and
it
that's
was
what it
just a
was.
block party.
Just a block
Throw a
party.
bow
That's
on the
it.
thing.
Yeah.
I remember last time you were thinking like the video had to be crazy. You saying how the video's
Oh
gonna have to be
yeah.
crazy.
I was
I
like, man,
like
you
I,
gotta.
I was like, I don't think the video had to be all they had to go do crazy thing, but like it was a good video, you
Mhm,
know. It was a good video. They had a block party. It's gonna live in infamy as the official version of what the concert kind of was, the
mhm,
pop out,
mhm.
it was heavy LA.
Oh, it's
You
very
know,
much so.
it was a pretty good
Mhm,
choreography. They intentionally did, like the classroom kind of setup,
mhm.
what I mean? It would, kind of classroom young kind of setup, but like
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
the dance class kind of thing, and
yeah.
the mentioned certain lines like hide the Bible kind of thing where he
Mhm,
mentioned the lyric and all that stuff.
mhm.
So very LA, quite unique. It was still very the cinematography of it all. You have the 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 shipping container. He's in a suit. Like the visuals of that like
Yeah,
was
yeah,
really good.
DeMar
Then you
DeRozan
had
in there. That
I
was
think
pretty
DeMar
cool.
DeRozan, yeah, DeMar DeRozan was in
Mhm,
there. So a lot of symbology in there, the
mhm.
hopscotching and
Yeah.
stuff. And so like it's all it was a bow. It was a
I
bow.
I
Well done.
I think what I did like about the video is, and this is more from a if anyone knows me, I'm into the art of film, and how it's shot. I like one of the things that one of the cinematic, well, it's cinematography, but one of the shots that I like was like while he was rapping some of the verses, kind of how the camera was panning as he was moving,
Mhm.
east and
Okay.
west.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that shot. I like that shot because it was kind of like a continuation.
Yeah.
It was
He's
purposely
done that
designed that
element
way.
before
Yeah,
in other videos of his. I've seen
yeah.
him do
He
that.
seems he seems
The
he seems
camera
to
kind
like
of
the
follows
element.
to it.
Yeah, it just kind of follows him as he goes.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I kind of like that shot. But go ahead, I didn't want to cut
Yeah,
you
so
off.
honorable mention to that. Check that video out. It's on YouTube, wherever else you get music videos from. The other honorable mention is the this movie came out in 2022. It's in 2022. All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah,
It's on Netflix now.
I saw some advertisements for that some while ago.
It's
What's
a
I know what it's about because I know what the Western Front is, but
the
I'm just curious.
overall theme is it's about the brutality of
Of World War II,
actual
of actual war.
of World War I specifically.
Oh yeah, it was World War One. Yeah,
Um
yeah.
and it's like it's like you're there, and they're like they don't like skip scenes at all. It's like it goes from you see somebody being brutally in the midst of war, suffocated, and they play it all the way through. They don't just like fade out and then you fade back in and like, oh, he's dead.
Mm,
Like, no, no, no. They show you the whole thing.
mm.
And it's it's a, it's a wonderfully shot movie. It's very deep, it's very sad, it's very like it's like wow, they captured this thing in and the desperation of each individual in this thing. And it reminds me of the fact that the first freaking shot that started off this goddamn war is this freaking Archduke Ferdinand that started World War I.
Mm. Have you seen 1917?
Did I see that? I don't recall. I don't recall.
Yeah, you should see that one. It's probably a really good supplemental film. Well, I wouldn't say supplemental. It's just It's a actually a very good film. How it's shot and everything, but it's the same thing. It's similar to All Quiet on the Western Front, like as far as like the time
Mhm.
period. But it's I mean it's the film is
Well,
1917.
1917 is probably was it about World War One?
Yeah, it's not yeah
Because it
1917.
because yeah because the war ended in 1718, I think 18.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so this is exactly the sort of thing that they're talking about
Mhm.
in terms of the brutality of it,
Yeah.
and it's reminiscent of what the hell just happened with the one shot that was fired that hit Trump in his ear.
Hmm.
You had World War One sparked by a shot, a single. Well, they actually tried a lot to actually kill him before the shots. They tried to blow up the car, I think, and tried to do some other thing, but like they
Dang,
failed.
they were trying to
But
get bro out of
try to get him out of there.
Trying to
But
get
then,
him
like,
out. Yeah.
inevitably, he was in the car visiting after he visited some other people that were bystanders.
Hmm.
Um, that when they missed him originally, and then leaving that sort of event is when somebody was standing on the street corner, and he pulled up, and they shot him through the window, killed him and his wife, right?
Dang.
And then a bunch of different like other dominoes fell, and then World War
And then
One.
yeah.
But Trump just got shot in the ear. That's like that first domino. But who knows what the hell can happen? So like something like reliving what went on here and All Quiet on the Western Front, having that firsthand experience could like hopefully that could like wake people up and be like, yo, this could really be you. This could really be you. Like fighting on the freaking Western Front. In the West, in this case, would just be freaking Oklahoma versus Nevada, or freaking Virginia versus West Virginia on some
Mm.
like trench warfare type shit.
Mm. That's
So honorable
interesting.
mentions that it's a good movie, and it's a history lesson. But putting that aside, getting into the good stuff. The first album reviewing today, not review. I don't do full album reviews. It's just recommendations. We don't do albums that like suck here. So if they
Gotcha.
suck, I might have listened to it, but I'm
Mhm.
not. I'm not taking the time to review it and put it on here.
Mhm.
But the first one that's dope. We actually have a pair, an assemblage, if you will. We have the first one is Stali. Album is called Peerless. And I'm
Tyler
gonna
still
tell you
rapping?
why
Okay.
it's kind of pairs well with the other album that after this one. But this Peerless album is it's boom bap, it's
Yeah.
jazz rap, it's that jazz rap kind of vibey thing. The elements He has elements of conscious rap on here. I feel like it comes off that way a little because he gives a lot of jewels in the rhymes. It's not just like talking about what I got or whose wife I smashed. I remember there was an interview he gave in a few years back where he was saying the music for me is more spiritual now. If it doesn't move me to move other people, then I can't do it. Sometimes you're rapping to an audience that isn't your audience. You're trying to create something that isn't you. Now I'm rapping for myself and those that are like-minded as well. Like he is like
Yeah.
very conscious about. So this is kind of like why you could kind of like say he's in the conscious rap kind of thing, but it's still like street shit.
Hmm.
It's giving like Nipsey Hustle, you know what I mean? It's giving like 444, where it's like he talks about like depression, like a rapper talking about his own depression, like a street dude talking
Hmm.
about having to go to therapy or something, like like figure out that going through like those real kind of situations like that. And so I can see how Staley has been like stressed throughout this whole time, and in his career so far.
Hmm.
He's gone from label to label. He was actually with MMG for a while. Then went like a different part of MMG,
Hmm.
I think. And now he's I think he's with is it maybe Blue Collar Gang, which I don't think I've figured out much about them, but um Stolly is I think he's a rapper's rapper. He's like who rappers would listen to, for bars. And he's got a couple of people featured on here, and we put a pin in this one earlier, so wait for it. So
Hmm.
Benny the Butcher's on here. He's got Jay Worthy,
Hmm.
Currency, Currency the Hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
and he got KD on a track.
Yeah, I heard KD was on the track.
That boy was spitting.
I heard a little bit on it. I heard he was talking crazy on that joint too.
That boy was spitting.
I heard he was
Scared
on that
Money.
joint.
That joint slap. And that other track, one of my other favorite track on there is
Mm.
Flavor in Your Ear. And so it's kind of like a redo of I'm kicking brand new flavor in your ear, got that brand new flavor. But he's got like the jazz rap with it, you know what I mean? And like the way he's kind of it's not like a hype song at all.
Yeah.
It's you gotta listen to the stuff. It's so smooth. The music is well produced, and his inflections are um excitable without being like a hype track, you know?
Okay.
And so like he's really earnest about it. You know, you can really feel like he means this stuff and he really cares about putting out, the jewels and putting out game.
Mm-hmm.
The next album up, which I feel is kind of like a real good compliment to it, and I'm glad that I got to experience both of these around the same time, is Boldy James. And Boldy James and dropped this album with Boldy James and Conductor Williams. It's called Across the Tracks. And what Boldy James does is with all his albums, like the producers that he gives them like the actual title on the album. Like, so it's not just the Boldy James album, the producer, the DJ, in this case was Conductor, Conductor, we have a problem. That guy is the one that collab with Boldy on this one. And it's more lyrical, like genius stuff, freaking jazz rap though, and okay. So this is the second album Boldy dropped this year, and a lot of people maybe have Penalty of Leadership, which is the first album. They might have that. I think I've heard some people have that as like potential rap album of the year.
Hold on, what? Which one?
Penalty of Leadership. That was Boldy's, because he dropped 2 albums this year. This is his second album this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so that first album, Penalty of Leadership, people are saying, there's people talking about it being like could be nominated for like rap album of the year. So you of course, like Schoolboy, is up there, and so they're talking about it like that. Even the Conway project, talking it like that for that album. I didn't think so as much, about that one, but like and I'm not saying that for this album is that either, but like I think I like this album better than that album, and I'm still not. I wouldn't put this album Across the Tracks up there for it's a good album though. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is a good album.
Okay.
His matchup with Conductor here is, it's just nice. It's just nice music, man. The joint is nice, and like Conductor does a way where he like, because Boldy is so like kind of like monotone, right? Conductor doesn't overproduce the track to where he overtakes it, and you can't like get Boldy what Boldy James is trying to put out.
Okay.
Okay. So it's like he it's kind of like Conductor modulated himself to be able to accentuate Boldy on those tracks, and so it's like a match made in heaven. I mean, Penalty of Leadership was good too. That was done by Nicholas Craven, and so he did well as well, matching up with Boldy like that. But I think this one, the collaboration is just a little, it's just smoother. It's just nice music. The jazz and the instrumentation is just it's just way it's, you can just tell the difference. He's got a track on there with his son, Bojack.
Okay.
And that song is all it's called All Madden. Shorty
like that.
sounds like a kid. But he's talking some big boy tough stuff. Like,
really?
like Boldy, this is your son, right? Like,
Wow.
even
Okay.
even Boldy's verse on that joint was more like being responsible, you know what I mean, and being like, I got a family to feed. I got and like, but then his kid comes on and it's like,
Talking greasy.
Talking talking some Griselda joint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
you know, shout out to Griselda, of course. You know, with Conductor being a main Griselda producer. You
Mhm.
know, so you know they always good at like matching up these people. I told you the curation that happens
Yeah.
over at Griselda, man.
Mm.
They don't play over there, right? Um, so yeah, it's a jazzy feel throughout the album, surreal, it's consistent pacing. It works. It just works for Boldy's style, that the way the album was produced. He's always great for storytelling. Um, it- it- he's and so like it's like a canvas. These beats are like a canvas for him. So he's it highlights his lyricism and his penmanship.
That's good.
I really appreciate the album for that. Um,
Good.
there isn't I mean, this is this type of rap. It's jazz rap. You're not gonna find any bops on here. You know,
Mhm.
there's not any like club bangers, nothing like that. But it does create a whole freaking vibe. Yeah, I wish both of these albums were pretty short in listen time.
Okay.
I wish they were a little bit longer. I like my albums to be at least like 35-minute minimum. You know what I mean? If I can get a good 45 minutes, that'd be dope. But
Mhm.
the songs themselves were short, you know, and then the whole album ends up being short. I think one of the albums is like 36 minutes and the other one might be 31 minutes.
Oh
I can't
yeah.
recall.
Yeah, it's only like 10 tracks. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, so when I saw 10 tracks, I was like, oh, this is, you know, this is
Yeah.
gonna be straight. But like, but then it's like, and the songs are short.
Yeah,
Uh,
the longest song. Yeah, you're right. The longest song he has 3 minutes and 18 seconds. That's kind of
yeah, man, that joint's mad annoying.
that is annoying actually.
Moving along, we have Hiatus Coyote. Album is called Love Heart Cheat Code. This is a funk,
I like that.
neo
I like that
soul,
name. That's a dope,
psychedelic
dope artist
rock.
name. Yeah.
Um, they're one of the most unique bands that's out, and they're from Australia, of course. You know,
Of
Australia don't
course,
miss when it
Aussies,
comes to like
man.
these like psychedelic rock kind of
Hmm.
funk kind of bands. The Highest Coyote may be a little bit of an acquired taste, but I think it's worth a try that we could put it that we could feature it. Um, th- this album, though, I'll warn, is it's not as consistent track to track. They they have a whole kind of organization, the way they put their music together, where it kind of keeps you off centered as a listener.
Hmm.
Um, the pacing switches up all the time. The voice, the singing style will switch up. Even the song
Mm.
style, you know, you'll go from, like I said, you know, from neo soul to funk, and then like a little bit of rock into it. So like you have to be you have to have an appreciation for the flair of music making, right?
Okay.
The flair of music making, and
Mm.
if you can appreciate it and have a little grace for that, then you'll then you can appreciate Highest Coyote for like the genius of work that they put together. Um, They were on the tiny. They did the Tiny Desk actually, and you can see some of their like, and they're just weird. They're weird, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I
So you could
bet.
just like see it on display
Hmm.
when you watch the Tiny Desk. This was during the COVID time, so this was, I think there was still social distancing going on. So Tiny Desk did a for a time period, people were doing their Tiny Desks from home,
Hmm.
right? So it would be their backyard or their living room, or they'll
Yeah.
be like their own just a way to keep the show going, to
Hmm.
keep the uh the uh the product going in terms of the Tiny Desk brand, right?
Hmm.
And so that's the version I recommend checking out. I don't know if they did any other one after that, but like
I'm
there's a
I'm
Tiny
looking
Desk.
I'm looking at their song titles and I can tell that they're weird.
Yeah,
How to meet yourself? Like, come
yeah.
on, bro.
Yo,
Like,
that
very
that
strange.
that the Napalm is the name of the lead singer, and first of all, just looking at her, you do not expect that voice to come out of that face and that body, and like, wow, right? Her voice is amazing.
Mm.
Um, and um, yes, they're weird.
Yeah.
but they sound great.
Mm.
And Napalm is the perfect front person for the instrumental displays, the impressive instrumental displays that they put together.
Mm.
So I definitely recommend
Interesting.
Hiatus Coyote. Even their back catalog, you could plug their stuff in, and it's one of those. It's they are one of these timeless kind of bands. Like really, their music sounds like it's live and in your living room, played out loud in speakers. It's live in your
Mm.
living room, and it's good at any angle and from any age.
What up, fam? It's Darwin, the guy that was just talking. First off, thanks for watching and supporting the show. But I gotta give y'all some homework. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to interact with the show. That means 1, hitting that like button, because I know you like our stuff. 2, make sure you subscribe so we can swim our way up your timeline whenever we drop new content. The third thing, please share the channel with your friends. Maybe they'll learn a thing about a thing or two. Oh, last thing, we're over here talking about what y'all talking about. So go ahead and carry that conversation on into the comments. We be up in there too.
We also have Remy Wolf. She has a new album called Big Ideas. This is a California California based artist, and this is her second album. Uh, and you can tell she's California, just like her style, her vibes. She's like all LA and all California.
Mm.
I know last time we talked about Californication with Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's
Yeah.
like California has produced a lot of artists that just love talking about California. Just
Yeah.
like
Apparently
just
so.
that they'd be talking about
Yeah.
California and like a lot, but but the music is very interesting. You know, it's anchored in indie pop funk, but
Mm.
she goes like all over the place with the music, but there's still always you can tell that there's an anchor in indie pop, right? There's an anchor in pop for sure. Um she goes into classic rock. There's some neo and new disco elements in some of the tracks.
Okay.
Um, think think like Tame Impala, which is a band like I love Tame Impala. I think Rihanna did a cover of one of their songs, and on that was it the Anti album, Tame Impala. But like there's vibes of that, and Management is another band that you can feel like elements and influences from them on I just knocked over my thing. You
Mm-hmm.
could feel elements from Remy Wolf's album Big Ideas here.
Mm-hmm.
There's it's definitely an 80s vibe. If it almost feels like you could have plucked some of her music out of the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a brand new track from one of your favorite 80s band
Mm-hmm.
that just came out. And so there's it's fun because it's pop, you know, but it also does show I can also see some growth from her. And it's an evolution of her sound, but it's still like quirky, you know, and she she doesn't lose the growth by by still being quirky, and like it can be some of it could be a little bit childish, I guess. But she stays true to her sound and her writing style.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's a good addition to her catalog. I'm putting it that way. All
Okay.
right, so I definitely recommend checking out Remy Wolf's Big Ideas. Um, one of the albums that I really gave a lot of spins to over the past couple weeks is Sturgill Simpson dropped a new album, and he's going by the moniker AKA Johnny Blue Skies.
Okay.
The album is called Passage de Désir. So it's French,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Passage of Desire. Uh the thing about Sturgill is that I keep saying this every time I listen to one of his albums. It's like he needs to make a visual element, just like Lemonade, you know, or just like what is it, Watering God? Was it Watering? Was that movie Watering Gata? I think it was that album that was a visual album, but it was like I thought it was just a soundtrack for a movie.
Oh.
With Gotti, was it Gotti? Water and Gotti. I don't remember. There was a couple. There was a couple ones back. What was that? What was it? It was Water and Gotti. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Water and Gotti. And so I keep saying with Sturgill Simpson, he should do that because his albums are always like that. Like are always a freaking story from top to bottom. And he goes through the entire like segments of a film like you would make, you know what I mean? And all the way to a closing. Um and in this one, he's going through like the stages of love, right? And a relationship. And like from like the birth of a relationship to like the ending of a relationship.
Mhm.
But also he named it this because he's been living in Paris for a couple years now.
Okay.
And this is like alternative country album, a
Mm.
country guy, right?
Mm.
Country artist. Now he does a lot of genre bending in this too, but again, just like Remy Wolf, does that anchor. That anchor is always in country. You could kind of still hear the anchor in country in that.
Mhm.
But he starts off the first notes on this album is a French accordion. That ain't country. that ain't country. French accordion. So just like thinking like you're listening to like those like
He's in Paris.
French accordions playing while you're walking down the boulevard or something like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got your beret on.
Walking down the French
Think of that sound. That's what the album starts with.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the album starts with, right? And so he's like, you're in for an experience. You're in for like a kaleidoscope of sound of different instruments. And I mean, he always makes his music. They're so full of life and sounds and different elements that you're gonna get a whole experience. And this is why I think he should definitely add a visual element to all of his albums.
Mhm.
You should go back and do that. But it happens that he was actually living in a bunch of parts of the world. He then moved to Paris, and then his inspiration came from this Passage de Désir, which is technically like a real place, which is interesting to be like kind of like a red light district kind of situation,
Mhm.
you know, but you're making a love and relationship album. You're not really like looking for relationships at the red light district, but like,
Yeah, I
but you
don't think
named the
so.
album that, and then like,
Mhm.
okay, so that's it. I'm sure there's some meaning behind that. And maybe there'd be an article written about it. But he if you don't recall, well, people probably don't remember, but like that album, Sailor's Guide to Earth, he actually got nominated for a Grammy for that album. That was my first intro into Sturgill, and it was like, this is crazy. This is country music.
Mhm.
I was like, this is country. This is amazing. Like, what did this guy do here and put that work together? That same year, Drake was nominated. Beyonce was nominated. Adele eventually
Oh,
won.
okay. Yeah.
That was the class that he was amongst that year.
Hmm. Okay.
So
That's impressive.
this did he say he's gonna retire? He said he's gonna retire, right?
How
He
old
said
is he?
retire. I don't know. I don't know how old he is, but he said he's gonna. He looks like he's about like he looks like he's in like late 40s. He may look like he's in his late 40s, but he said he was gonna retire. So he kind of pseudo retires, comes back with this album, and names it Sturgill Simpson or Johnny Blue Skies and Sturgill Simpson. Like, but Johnny Blue Skies is you. That's a moniker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you retired or like is he retiring his name? Is like he's going to go by like, are we gonna get
Sturgill? I think Sturgill Simpson retired, but Johnny Blue Skies ain't retired.
this is what I'm saying. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
But like this Johnny Blue Skies album sounds more like I understand if you're going to go in a different direction or something like that, and maybe you retire that whole storytelling thing that you did and like your sound but like A, you sound more country than ever, and B, well, I'm sure in terms of his singing, again, the music is like it's still it's amazing music, but there's like a lot of instruments that are not traditionally country that are happening there. But A, you sound more country, and B, you're still doing the storytelling thing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the most Sturgill Simpson thing I've heard in a while. So like, what is this Johnny Blue Skies guy? You know what I mean? And like, what is that about? And so that's weird. But he says he's retired, and so like maybe this is like, the way I don't know. Freaking Childish Gambino said he retired too, and then we got more work from him, and
That
so
guy.
that was weird. But anyway, it's an immersive experience like all his albums. Um, Expired moments make for one of those like complex music journeys. Again, you have to like it's not one of those. At least on the first listen, I would recommend. Well, maybe not the first, but the second listen, I would recommend putting headphones on and just like listening to it and follow the flow and listen to the story that he's telling. It's like listening to an audiobook. If you're doing too much, you miss a lot of the details that make it
That's true.
that make it like
That's
really
actually
tie
true.
in and hone it for yourself. So
But see, that's what annoys me though, because I feel like with audiobooks I should be able to multitask, but then like I can't
if it's a
really.
good book, if it's
If
a
it's,
good,
I
depends
can't
on the
really
type of book.
multitask.
If it's a novel, it's hard. You're gonna miss some stuff. You're gonna miss some stuff. You're gonna find yourself rewinding and
Yeah.
rewinding again, like because you're gonna miss a key plot point or something like
Mm.
that. Um, but yeah, so I would recommend uh, first listen just to get the feel of it. Listen to it fine, play it in the house, whatever. But like on second listen, definitely put headphones and listen to the story.
Mm.
Another one I would definitely recommend like listening close to is Lucky Day. The album is called Algorithm,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, I think we just listened. I think we just found the progressive R&B album of the year, the Grammy Award winning album of the year for progressive R&B. At least now that they have the subcategory, the subcategory for R&B was created in 2013, um, and he's won it before. He's won it for he won it in 2022 for what was that album called? Table for Two. So 2024 he might be at it again. Algorithm it pairs Lucky's inventive songwriting with top tier production, including input from R&B MVP Demile. But don't expect a rehash of Candy Drop. This one embraces a little bit more of a rock aesthetic,
Yeah.
even though he's of course he's R&B. I get it, but like you know the foundations of R&B and Tina Turner, so like, that was rock music,
Pretty much. Yeah.
even Whitney Houston, country and rock elements and that stuff.
Mm.
Um, it does help to diversify his sound, um, but it works to also keep the listener. So the thing is, it's a love album, and sometimes you tend to want to slow down when you listen to one of these kind of like love songs, and some of these songs may be like sexy time songs,
Mm-hmm.
but like the way that it is um accompanied with the rock music, it can keep you a little bit more upbeat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So but it's not like dance music, and not that upbeat, but it's a little bit more pulse, a little bit more pulse pounding, a little bit more like
Okay.
vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at its best, the album recalls the dynamic, sensual abandon that Day rides over the grooves and edges of the melody. He never seems to be addressing the crowd in these songs. It's like a private concert almost. It could feel like a private concert, like it's very personal,
Mm-hmm.
and very inviting for the individual. It's not like it doesn't sound like he's playing to a room, right? Like he's not playing to like a big crowd. He's not even like making the music for mass consumption almost, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's made for like people who get me, go and listen to this joint, and they go and
Okay.
really like tune in. People who get me. So he's playing to like his crowd. I like particularly the one song he has with Ray. Ray is one of another artist we featured a while ago, and Ray also was on has a tiny desk, and she sounds amazing on there. That track is called Paralyzed. Man, it's a beautiful um acoustic ballad. It's very stripped down, and they match like they match emotions on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you would think they was like into something, you know what I mean? Like the way like
Oh,
they,
okay, I see what you're
the way,
saying.
the way that they blend so well
Mm.
with each other in that joint. Yeah, so it's a love album. It's and it's I think it's like a guy who's like, I know I've gotten to the mountaintop before and I can do it again. And like he's like really took his time with this one. And and like I said, I think it's the winner. I think it's the winner for at least for this category. And at least they got this category here. I
You
don't
said
know about
R&B album of the year. You
the
said
progressive R&B album of the year.
what
SZA
is
won
what is
this.
what is
SZA won this last year.
okay? What does that mean particularly when you say
Bro, I
when
just
you add the
described all
progressive?
kinds of different stuff that's going on with his album here, and so that should tell you the answer to that.
No. But no. But when you say progressive, you're what are you referencing specifically? I mean I
Well,
follow
so
what
like
you're
we
saying,
we
but
talked about here, for example, like the rock acoustics for this one, for example, right?
so so
Or
so you're more pointing towards the instrumentation. Is that
yeah,
what you're
yeah.
okay?
Well, I mean, this
That's
not
just what
only
I was
that,
confirming.
but
Yeah.
the style is different. The style is way different. Like when you listen
Mm.
to SZA's album, it's not like listening to um sitting up in my room, running up under my. It's
Yeah,
not
it's more
that
it's more
or
conversation and
right.
yeah,
But this one is this style
like a
of R and
journey.
B is a bit more. It's a little bit more poppy. But but it can include things like rock in there, and it's not gonna be a traditional just like Drew Hill crying on the windowsill with
Hmm.
the raindrops falling kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
That would be like your traditional R&B,
Okay. Yeah.
heartbreak, more slow
Mm.
kind of. You're not really gonna get like a high of. You're gonna get high of emotion, but you're not gonna get
Yeah.
high of like your blood pumping.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the new what is R&B now is I'm not, I wouldn't even call it R&B anymore,
But
honestly.
you keep
But
doing something right there when you're talking.
mm,
You're not giving credit to the words of there's general category of R&B and this is progressive R&B. That doesn't mean anything about new age R&B. There's still R&B.
hmm
This is a different category. This is progressive R&B.
so
All right,
progressive art
it's like having
it's its own
rock music
category.
and
Is it
alt
it's
rock.
okay? So it's its own category. Okay, I
This
thought
is
you
what
were
I'm
just
telling you.
okay. So I thought you
That's what I
were
figured. I'm like, you're doing something there. You're not like, there's
yeah.
some words you're like purposely not like internalizing.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, so it's an actual
Yes.
separate category. Okay, because when I was listening to you, I
Yes.
was like, is this just more of the? That's why I asked you specifically to confirm. Like,
Hmm.
is it more the instrumentation? Is it the style? Like, what is it? Like, I thought it was something the artists themselves were doing that made it progressive, not necessarily a
Well, it's
separate
also
category.
it's well, yeah, yes, it's a separate
Yeah, that's what I'm
category.
saying. I didn't
But the
I didn't
reason
put
it's a
that
separate
together
category because these artists
because of how
are
they're
doing
doing it
something different. They're
yeah,
presenting the music differently.
differently.
It's a
Okay,
derivative of R&B,
okay,
right? They're adding different elements that aren't part of traditional R&B into
okay.
it. They may add a little bit more psychedelic elements to it. They might add a little bit more
Mm,
synth pop or something like that
yeah.
into it, or even in this case some country
Mm,
into it even, you know.
wow.
um and I like that vibe because I like the progressive R&B. I for a while was off of traditional R&B. Like I feel like it was like a drought of good R&B music. They really to like because the people that were singing R&B didn't see the money in it, I guess, and like really went pop heavy. So
Yeah,
like it was
Chris
like
Brown. You see Chris
the early
Brown.
aughts, yeah, Chris Brown, like these,
Yeah.
like I almost feel like what is like the last great R&B performer was Usher, and
Yeah.
people like we have other folks that came around eventually that started doing more
Mm,
but like in terms of like great legends, you know what I mean? It was like it was
Usher
Usher,
probably would. Usher probably would be the
you know.
last one, actually.
It was probably Usher, and then
Yeah, actually, Usher might be the. Yeah, Usher actually might be the last, really,
yeah,
the
so
last of a
so
dying breed
this
for real.
album wouldn't compete probably with the unless because Usher just said, yeah, I think Usher's last album, that one where he's holding the peach behind his head, I think that was an R&B album. I don't think that was considered
Mm,
progressive R&B. I think that might have
mm,
been an R&B album if I recall.
okay.
So Lucky Day algorithm, check your boy out. You heard it here first. And looking forward to replaying a bunch of these albums. So check out our show notes. You can see There's a link. You can go straight to these albums if you listen to your music using YouTube Music. It'll take you straight to the album, and you can just press play. And leave a comment. Some of them allow you to leave comments under the tracks and stuff. So tell them Challenge Day sent you.
That's a good look. But yeah, man, that's what we got for you guys, man. We definitely enjoyed the vibes. I mean, it's a lot of interesting stuff there. Definitely got to check it out, man. So we hope you guys let us know what you think about those selections too, because we definitely want to hear we usually put like some really good stuff there, but we definitely want to hear you guys' reaction to some of the
Your
things that
take
we've
to
chosen.
'em, yeah.
Yeah, and our takes.
Like,
yeah.
am
So
I
we-
bugging? Am I bugging? You listen
Yeah,
to it, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Am I
Definitely let
bugging?
us
I'm
know.
talking about-
Like, yeah.
When I mentioned the Lil Yachty and
Yeah.
James Blake joint could
Yeah.
win album of the year, could win album of the
Yeah.
year, it could probably potentially win like alternative rock or something like that. One of those categories. But
Mm-hmm.
am I bugging? You know what I mean? Did you listen? Did you feel different? You know what I mean? Leave it in comments.
Yeah, leave them in the comments, man. We talk back. So we appreciate you guys for checking us out again. Quick reminder, like, comment, subscribe, man. We talk
Yes, sir.
back. You know what I'm saying? Check us out on every social media platform that you guys like to frequent. We'll be there. So, and we popping on Spotify too. We popping soon. Trust and believe that.
Yep. See you there.
So with that being said, bro, you got anything more for us?
No, that's it.
All
Mission
right, all right.
accomplished.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mission accomplished. And with that, stay safe, guys.
Con la vue, change de tempo.
It's Challenge Day.